All right, I just got some big news. So college football, the playoff will expand to 12 teams in 2024. And I think this is great news. Great news for both Michigan and Michigan State. Both teams realistically have a shot to make it almost every year, or at least every other year. So I'm super excited about that. And I think it definitely needed to happen. I hate that the Michigan-Ohio State game is not going to quite have the same meaning because now both teams will make it, but it's definitely easier to make it as a 2 seed than it is as an 11 seed. So I guess it'll still have some meaning, but it won't be the winner takes all the marbles game. But this is great news for both schools in the state of Michigan, and just a great news for college football in general. Now it's going to feel like the NCAA tournament, where it's a lot harder to win a national championship because now there's a bunch of games you have to win. I'm guessing that the top 4 teams get a first-round bye, and that could definitely increase your chances. But still, the fact that some of the smaller schools have a chance to compete now is definitely a great thing. Even Virginia Tech, where I go to school right now, soon to be my alma mater, and I'm excited about them tonight. So I think that this is great news for college football. Let's talk about something else as well. Michigan is going to be playing J.J. McCarthy against Hawaii and Cade McNamara this weekend against Colorado State. I got the sequencing next up there. But I have heard a lot of people say they don't like this because they don't think it shows a lot of confidence from Jim Harbaugh. Personally, I like it. The truth is, we really don't know how good Michigan's defense is. You know, we see it in practice, at least Jim Harbaugh does, but what about in-game competition? I think that the level between Colorado State and Hawaii is pretty similar, so we're going to see firsthand who's better. And, you know, we have a really weak non-conference schedule. Why not take advantage of it? Why not use it to try new things? Why not try to create new packages and see what your players can do and really just increase the time that the competition takes place? Because competition is a good thing. So really, Michigan season starts a month later in October when we take on Maryland. That's when the real season starts, or late September, I think it is. Right now, this is like preseason for NFL, and there's a quarterback competition. So in the preseason, you see who you guys can start with. You know, you see if Malcolm Rodriguez takes that spot over Gerard Davis, which he did. And you're going to see if J.J. McCarthy or Cade McNamara can lead the troops, or if both can do it. It's definitely a blessing to have both of them on the roster because we know that injuries happen, and it's good to have one or the other. The key thing is, though, this is the big thing. One of them has to be the starter. You can play both, but one of them has to be the starter. If it's Cade McNamara, you can play J.J. McCarthy at times like you did last year, but Cade is your starter. The problem with a Drew Brees, or a wrong player, Tom Brady, Drew Henson era, this is the real problem. Lloyd Carr did not do a good job of naming a clear starter. Tom Brady should have been the starter, and Drew Henson should have been the guy that came in the game at times, you know, to add some athletic ability, because Tom Brady obviously didn't have that. Instead, you know, we're pretty dysfunctional, and we lose a few games that we shouldn't have lost. You know, we lose to Michigan State in a game where Drew Henson looked terrible. We showed a lot of dysfunction in that game. And really, that 99 team was tragic because that team could have won the national title, or at least come close to it. But instead, they lost a couple of games that they shouldn't have. And a lot of that can be due to quarterback dysfunction. So this 2022 team, I think, is like that. They have a similar level of talent relative to this era of college football. And this team can absolutely win the Big Ten again, and I think that they can beat Ohio State. I'm in the minority saying that, but I believe that this team has what it takes to beat OSU, but it's not going to be easy. You got to play a clean game. You got to be functional going into the game. You got to have an identity, and that's the big thing. Is we got to establish our identity and be able to throw it at Ohio State, kind of like what we did last year. So the key thing is we got to get this quarterback thing right, and I don't mind Jim Harbaugh taking his time to get this thing right. And like I said, the real season starts after we play UConn and then we play Maryland. That's when the real season starts. So these are preseason games right now, window dressing. And we might not win 67-0 or whatever, but that's because we're going to be trying new things. It's a scrimmage, if we're being real, because these teams are nowhere near our talent level. Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn. So I'll be interested to see what happens. I'm excited for the start of the season. Go Blue and go Hokies tonight. great start to the college football season and already a great start to the day with the news. Take care, and y'all have a good one.